Na digital blessing, high tech they rise, no stressing. Money boy on the beat. I see numbers on my screen. Green candles make me lean. My people, them they win. High tech they flow like stream. Enough we go down. Now only young we know. All my people gather round. Make we show them how we grow. High tech na juju money. Juju money. Price they rise infinitely. My God, dash us this blessing. This blessing. Digital money no go rest. Oh. No rest.
All right, I think we can start. My name is Hightech, of course. I'm the creator of Hightech Meme Coin, and on these live streams, I will be talking about what just happened today in the cryptocurrency market, what do I think about it, and of course, I'll be talking about what's up with with my meme coin, of course. So let's go. I think everything is ready. Let me quickly confirm if I have everything in order, but seems like I do. So let's go. Hopefully you guys can hear me. And yeah, of course you can write me in the live chat. I will see it here. I will be taking a look at this session here from time to time. And in the meantime, let's discuss what is going on. What is going on in the crypto market? Because we just closed the weekly candle, of course. So on I mean in the UTC time, of course, because that's the only time you should be looking at the charts with. the only time zone, the universal one. I'm not really sure if it is possible to look at candles closes in different time zones. I never have tried it, to be honest. Maybe it is. Allow me to quickly check how this live stream is actually going. I would like to check if the audio is really working as it should. Okay, yeah, it's working. It's working. So that's perfect. So yeah, give me a like, of course, wherever you are watching this live stream. Give me a like and subscribe to the channel. I don't know, maybe give me a share too. That will be very nice if you do so, of course. As you see, we have a small rebound on Bitcoin so far. Bitcoin is king. That is the title of this live stream in quotes, because it's not like I'm saying that actually. But definitely many maxis can say it now, can shout it now, because altcoins got humbled once again. Bitcoin is somewhat going up right now. Altcoins are not really fully following it still. I think we are going to get to that, but right now, as you see, is Bitcoin the only one that actually does something. And of course, you can spot on this chart that my algorithm still remains outside of the Bitcoin market, and probably I'm going to get a comeback sometime soon if it continues like this. I expect it to continue like this, to be honest. But yeah, from the weekly chart perspective, I mean, we've got a red candle after a series of green weekly candles, and I was talking about it previously on my previous live stream that statistically speaking, whenever we had a series of candles like this, 7 or 8, even when it was the time to get a red one, we still were following through and we're going higher, right? Actually, I think so far 100% of the times, a series of candles like this, 7 or 8, the longest was 7 candles, 7 weekly candles. Second longest was sorry, 8 weekly candles. Second longest was 7 weekly candles. 100% of the time after that, and then scoring a red weekly candle, we were having a follow through and a move that was um, actually double what we've done, right? So here, from the beginning of the move up until the here I'm taking only the uh, candle bodies. I think they are much more um, adequate actually to measure it that way, because we remove to a great degree, let's say the price action noise here. So here we've got plus almost 40%. If we include the weeks, of course, it's going to be more. But let's say it was roughly around plus 40%. So I expect after this red weekly candle, I expect us to actually make another plus 40% from here. So yeah, you can calculate how far we are going to get them. Probably around $150,000. That is my expectation in upcoming 2 months, let's say, that we are going to get there. I don't really think we are going to see a strong pullbacks here. I heard voices that some influencers are predicting we are going to get like minus 20% pullback right now. I think on my side, that's the least expected. Why? Because we suffer a terrible lack of liquidity, and big players, market makers, whales, they really hate conditions of total lack of liquidity. And when we go over to, let's say, liquidation levels, when we look at how much liquidations Bitcoin has suffered is, as you see, 33 million for last 24 hours. That's literally nothing. Even Ethereum actually had more. So that means, of course, still nobody is here. Literally nobody's here, and that, that's a sign of lack of liquidity. Is and in these conditions, in this market context, chart context, it's very beneficial for the pools because, as I said, big players, they had to dump into huge pockets of liquidity before they exit from their allocations, from their positions. They try to gather liquidity somehow. They try to hold their liquidity somehow, and usually, of course, they do it through media, through social media, through legacy media. Uh, they simply finance huge campaigns, information campaigns, info campaigns about crypto, about how great it is, about how bright future it has, about how much you should allocate into it. And so far we have not really seen a cannonade from the legacy media side, at least not in Europe. I'm not entirely sure how it is in the United States. I don't think it's en masse, to be honest, at least not yet. Of course, we have seen from Steckenhaus some initiative, let's say, right? Like, for example, they started to put a B letter on their burgers, or they started to serve milkshakes with the Bitcoin logo. But I mean, that's still very niche, right? That's still very, very niche. I mean, some people commented about it that it's nice to see, Bitcoin going mainstream, but it's just one one franchise has done it. That's definitely not a wide, let's say, mainstream. It's a very, very, very niche mainstream. So that is why I think we cannot really count it as uh, as this massive talk about cryptocurrencies everywhere, and signs of of the top, right? We had of course Las Vegas Bitcoin conference, and people were super happy there. They were dancing. Bitcoin hit all-time high just freshly. Usually, I agree that will be a top sign, a sell signal. But having observed market mechanics, I honestly I cannot agree with that. I mean, we are under many other measurements. We are really, really far from anything that looks like the top, right? And liquidity to me is the most important indicator here, because like I said, the big guys, they know this game very well, from inside out, and they know very well if they try to sell it now, they are going to lose a lot of money, right? They are going to dump it hugely, and unless they want to redirect the attention to a completely different type of assets, or unless they do not want to completely trash, completely obliterate this class of asset, they are not going to do it. And I do not see it as a smart move from their side, because this is a global class of asset. It's not local. It's completely independent from one one economy, right? It's actually tied to the global economy. So this is it's a very, to some degree, I will even call it safe potential exit strategy if for scenarios if shot hits the fund really, really hard. So you can always escape into Bitcoin, for example, right? Or general crypto narrative that is decentralized, that it is not dependent on certain local economy, and those are global protocols. So wherever it's good in crypto, it must be at least partially good. I mean, you can try to present it that way. You can try to serve it that way. Like for example, even if let's say USA economy collapses, then that economic growth has to shift somewhere. So that probably would be the other side of the fence, meaning I don't know, China, Russia, India. And if their things are going well, that should support crypto, right? So if not from this side, then from that side. Why? Because crypto is global, right? Crypto is not tied to certain national economy, right? Like stocks, for example, Amazon, Tesla, whichever you name, Microsoft, whichever you name, Apple, whichever you name from the Magnificent Seven. If the economy in the United States goes down, that probably is going to affect those brands too. So yeah, here is that huge difference, right? That tells me probably the big players, they do not really want to trash crypto unless they have a very good replacement for that. But what would that be, right? I mean, if we have to be state independent, but that takes a lot of time to gain trust. They already have a ready product out of the box, very well proven, top notch, security, the most secure network in the world. That's the Bitcoin network. So I don't think it makes sense really to try to cut off its head. Right? I mean, they could do it, of course. They could do it, and as you already know, me myself, I'm outside of the Bitcoin market right now. I mean, my algorithm closed my position on Bitcoin, as you see. I made plus 9.7% on the last trade, and on the one before, I think it was, yeah, roughly around that. But yet I do not believe we are going to go lower from here. As a matter of fact, I think we are done with this local correction here. I think we are going to go higher from here, much higher. and I think we are literally marching towards 150K. What altcoins are going to do in the process? I think altcoins are going to wake up. I think we've been waiting enough of time for altcoins to do totally nothing, getting slapped left and right, and you know, no asset goes down forever. Sooner or later, they will have to get some, strong rebounds. When it comes to myself, those that watch me, they know, you guys know very well, I do not invest in anything. I only trade it. Same is the case with Bitcoin. Same is the case with altcoins. Therefore, I do not really care if certain asset keeps going down or not. What I care about, what I care for is how much volatility it has on the way down. If it has enough, then still I will be able to make money on it. And I think that is going to be the case right now for me. I think now is the time for altcoins to get that juicy upside volatility, because I do not benefit from the market going down because I trade only spot. I have too much awareness of how leverage market, futures market works, how rigged it is. It requires a super high precision of trading, and sooner or later it just takes the last shirt off your back, and I'm not willing to give it to it, right? That's why I stay by spot trading. So here, even though we actually closed the weekly below that significant level of support, zone of support actually, in between 220, 245 and $250 billion, I still remain hopeful. I still remain hopeful for the altcoin market because, I mean, generally speaking, we are resting on a very strong, dense zone of support, which is this one here, in between 195 and 245. This one in between 245 and 250 is extra dense, right? So I was expecting it to actually hold. It's the extra significant zone, even though it's very very thin. But overall, right now, I think we are sitting on at worst soft mattress, but we are not going to make a hole in it, right? In the worst case scenario, we can dip our toes into it a little bit, and that's it. It will push us up sooner or later, or we will get above that a little bit harder zone in between 245 and 250. Then we will get a little bit more solid ground that we will use it, of course, to go much higher. So since this week, last week, right, the one that just finished, disappointed me a little bit. I was expecting it to be already explosive, but apparently too many people was expecting the same. That's the nature of financial markets. They always try to disappoint as great part of market participants as possible, and as long as possible, as long as it is profitable for that 1% that keeps winning year over year. Apparently, there was a little bit too much of that crowd, and that is why we simply had to stay here for a little bit longer. I'm fine with that because, as you know already, I do not trade it manually. My algorithms, my systems are going to handle it just fine. But it's another week I had to wait, and I still expect this explosive move to happen shortly. I know I've been talking about it for a few weeks already that we are going to go parabolic. I mean, it has been partially truth, right? Because we went from here quite aggressively up for quite a few weeks, for 5 weeks almost. and then 6th week we also went up higher, but then we got smacked in the head, right? And since then we're back on the back to the downtrend, right? But I believe this is a very local story. It's not going to be long lasting, and I think it's just about time to recover our uptrend. In a little bit greater picture, um, it's quite easy as well to get the same impression that the market structure right now it favors definitely much more upward move rather than downward move. And again, liquidation levels are supporting that idea because once again, big players, market makers, they do not like to sell into a huge pockets of liquidity, right? So because why? Because they lose money unless they want to kill this market for whatever reason. I don't really see any that kind of reason why they would ever want to do it, and especially right now when there is so much turmoil, all geopolitical turmoil in the world. I don't think that is in anybody's favor. I think right now is the best thing is to create yourself as many options as possible with so you can escape into those options with your capital, because you don't really know what is going to work. If anybody thinks that knows for 100% which option is going to work, I think they are very foolish. It's the smartest thing to do is to keep all of the doors open to yourself, just so in case of emergency you can pick one, right? You can pick your path, you can pick your way. So yeah, it makes absolutely no sense to me that this market would start to correct aggressively from here. Zero from market mechanics standpoint. That's not going to happen. And logically speaking, that's what I choose. That's what I believe in right now. Of course, I could be wrong on that. And once more, I will repeat: I do not trade it manually, as you have seen. My systems manage my own portfolio, and even if I'm wrong on it, wrong about it, I'm not going to suffer it because, as you have seen, I'm out of the market right now. But I think we are going to get the upward momentum back, and it's going to happen sometime, sometime shortly. And yeah, of course, me talking about my trading systems, which I do not promote on my channels anymore. I used to. I do not promote them anymore. The, why I actually even talk about it? Well, because indirect exposure to my systems you can gain through, of course, my meme coin, because whatever I earn there, I'm going to be reinvesting into here. I do that, of course, slowly, so it makes sense, because I don't want to become a sponsor of large amount of people. I want only hardcore believers in here, so that's why I cannot rush things here too much, because otherwise I would literally have to do a financing of others, and that's not the point. But I will definitely keep injecting capital here, and I think it makes sense. If you believe in, for example, my social media, like the growth of my social media, like for example the growth of my, I don't know, X profile if you watch it on X, a Rumble channel if you watch it on Rumble, or YouTube channel if you watch it on YouTube, then I think yeah, you should get yourself a little bit of this one. Of course, the link to this liquidity pool, you can find it in the description section of this live stream. And there I posted liquidity pool of Hightech, because that's how my meme coin is called. Is The name is written in lead speech. So the speech of hackers. I'm a programmer, so almost there. And actually, it's on Solana. Of course, it's a Solana coin, so you can. I mean, as long as you have a Solana wallet, you can swap whatever for this token, and Solana and its routing will do the job, and the liquidity pool will land whatever has to land there. And yeah, I think even if you invest like $1, $2, $3 in it, that's still going to do the job. Why? Because my social media have a lot of room for growth. I mean, look at my YouTube channel; it's still very tiny. Even my Polish channel, which is like 10 times larger than my English YouTube channel, is still very little. And I work hard every day to grow both of them. I mean, okay, maybe this one not every day, but every week, every week to grow both of them. And right now, I managed to actually grow them in conditions of very low interest around cryptocurrencies. So imagine what will happen when that when we hit the sweet spot, right? in that area. So yeah, be first. Get yourself a little bit before the crowd arrives, because they are going to arrive. Let me tell you. So yeah, I'm definitely not pessimistic about this weekly close. And on top of it, as you see, we did not close below the zone. We actually have closed inside of this tight zone, right? So it's not like we are resting on top actually, right? In the upper of the upper section of this quite wide zone of support here. We also close in the middle of this ultra dense zone of support, which is on top of that, of that big zone. So right now, as we are slightly lower, slightly below that, but let me remind you that those aggregated charts, most of the time, at the beginning especially, and I mean the weekly close, the weekly open, they get corrected after a few days. So here you must be a little bit careful if you attach a lot of value to this type of stuff, this type of metrics. I would rather wait until Wednesday or Tuesday or even Wednesday before taking some groundbreaking decision, because this thing here can get adjusted. Um, it can get corrected quite a lot, right? Until then, allow me to quickly check my live chat. But here you guys usually sit quiet. There is two people watching on X, one people watching on Rumble, and one person watching on Rumble, and one person watching on Twitch. Anyone can of course write something, but yeah, most of the time, most of the people choose not to. I'm not going to push anybody, push out anybody to the blackboard. If you guys you don't have any questions, then that's fine. That's fine with me. You can always leave a comment as well. If after you rethink, maybe what would you like me to respond to, or I don't know, tell my opinion about something. All right, let's take a look about other charts. It's actually very late where I'm at, because it's 5:09 a.m. So it's very late. So yeah, that's why maybe I'm a little bit slower. I mean, usually I'm quite slow when I live stream here, because I do it very late. But today I think I'm extra slow. Okay, so this is Bitcoin dominance, as you see, and it keeps making me jokes, right? Because I I announced the fall of Bitcoin dominance. I have announced so many. I proclaimed so many times, and it keeps coming back, right? Right now, it looks like it gives that impression that it's about to come back. It's about to have its big comeback. but I stay by my own, and I keep saying that I will keep saying that we are not going to take out this high here, this local high. I think the higher we go here, I mean, we already had a lot of troubles here, a lot of troubles here, and I think this thing is running out of steam, is running out of gas. I mean, it's still very impressive what it has accomplished, because maintenance here is very expensive at these levels. So unless this is not somehow manipulated, which is also very very, I mean, okay, maybe not very, but it is also possible that there is some kind of manipulation here, because these charts, we've seen them get corrected backwards so many times on my live streams, on my Polish live streams here, even that we cannot neglect that possibility with 100% certainty. But assuming that everything here is in place, and it really tells us the real state of Bitcoin dominance, uh, yeah, it has been quite impressive that it keeps fighting for its life, fighting for those levels with such ferocity. But I think it's just about to finally give up. Just about to finally give up. I think it's literally fighting for its life right now, and it will lose that battle. I I keep believing my version of events, of future events, my my vision, and yeah, we'll see. I'll be totally blown away if we make a new high. I don't really think that's possible. I mean, everything is possible, but I don't believe that in this particular case. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. When it comes to USDT dominance, that one I like, of course, how it's behaving. Because last 2 days, I mean, I'm not counting the one that is be is being printed for last 2 hours. So previous 2 days, as you see, we have printed a red, and that plays along what I've been saying, that this is probably um, this has been treated as inverse head and shoulders formation, and its target was more or less here. I mean, according to how I was viewing it, the technical target was actually somewhere here. So if my analysis, if my interpretation of it is correct, then we should start to reverse from here. We should start to roll over from here, and this is exactly what we are doing. So that you know makes me happy that at least on one of the charts currently I'm somewhat correct. And yeah, I think it's time to go to work. It's time to go back to work and just continue to go down the hill here, and uh, and keep up the good work, right? Keep up the good work. This, of course, I mean, this is USDT dominance. USDT is still the most important stablecoin in the world, even though USDC is trying to challenge that status. I think it's still far off. And yeah, the worst situation is here. Is presented here. The better, of course, is the upward potential in the crypto market, in the altcoin market, in the Bitcoin market. So yeah, some people could try to tell that this actually looks like a bull flag here. Yeah, there is a tiny possibility that that is the case, but I think much more likely is that yeah, we are starting a rollover from here, given that we are doing it just below a level that, at least in theory, should play as a very, very strong resistance, approaching it from this side, of course. So yeah, let's take a look at PAXG, which I recently called the real crypto fear and greed index, or actually uh, risk on asset fear and greed index. And this one continues to look a little bit grim. It doesn't really look very strong on the weekly. Let's take a look on the weekly. On the weekly, we actually closed red, which of course I like. Judging by the weeks, we keep scoring lower highs. Last week, we also did not make a higher high, even with a week. And yeah, that's what I wanted to see. And here the price action, the only bullish sign that we could read from here is that so far we have higher low. But across, all of the indications that we can recognize here, there is much more bearish signs than bullish signs. I mean, here maybe we are with a little bit of a potential of, coming back to this uptrend, overall uptrend. But we are already very high, and I think it works against gold right now, right? PAXG is of course tokenized gold. That's what I'm agreeing with right now. And when we switch to Heiken Ashi candles, let me take a look at it. Pretty much same stuff. Pretty much same stuff. Much more bearish signs than bullish signs. The only bullish one from Heiken Ashi side is when we switch to weekly candles, as you see. It looks like this thing wants to continue, but across all of these different angles that we try to look at the situation here, we actually, out of 4 different angles, 4 different dimensions, only one is really bullish, and that is of course this one. Remaining 3 are much more bearish than bullish. There is some bullish takeaways there, but very very little. So that's why I do not give it too much of benefit of a doubt, to be honest. Especially given where the crypto market is, right? When we joined this one with in what context the crypto market is, what situation it is, it just does not add up that gold continues to have a good time. It doesn't make really much sense in my eyes. Of course, I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong, and remember that I do not trade cryptos or whatever based on what I think I see in the charts. I always leave that trading to my trading systems, and that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference in between me as a the influencer and other influencers in the crypto space. And again, the indirect exposure, to what I do is of course through my meme coin here. And I remind you that the link to its liquidity pool you can find it in the description section of this live stream, or you can type in the mint address, which you can see on the screen, or you can see it also in my bio on my X profile. You can copy paste it from there and paste it in the search field on whichever Solana DEX, and you are going to find it that way too. Okay, let's take a look at X. What is going on here? Where chart analysis, to be honest, right now nothing comes to my head what I could be showing more here. Maybe let's go over to CryptoBubbles. Let's take a look what CryptoBubbles is doing. Musk is doing quite well, and yeah, I was actually talking about it on my Polish live stream, and yeah, if I trade it on my personal account, that would mean it gave me a double today. I haven't checked it, to be honest. Yeah. But I think I have it on my account. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked it yet, but I think I have it on my account, and I think I have this. I have benefited from this trade today. Why I do not know it, because on my account I tell above 200 coins. Sometimes get delisted, so I have to remove them. Then I replace them with some other coins, and that's a never-ending process on Binance. So that's why I'm not entirely sure if I have this one or not. I'm like 95% sure, because it sounds very familiar. This ticker sounds very familiar to me. But I would not bet my head on it, but I'm like 95% sure I have it. Maybe if I live stream tomorrow on this channel, I will confirm it tomorrow. So what if that was the case? That would be the best trade today on my personal account. And again, this matters because at least part of these profits here, I'm going to support. Support my meme coin with these profits from trades like this one. Yeah. Other than that, quite green, but most of it is just the recovery. Not much more. And yeah, I think sometimes this week we finally start to rally. I know I said it last week, and market made me a joke, but we cannot keep waiting forever. It cannot keep us waiting forever. This is not how it works. Sooner or later, it will have to do what market mechanics tells it to do. And right now, again, in this market context, it definitely commands it to sometime soon go up. I don't really think it's possible for the crypto market to anyhow avoid it, even if we encounter some more disturbing stories coming to us from Ukraine territory, surroundings, or the Middle East. I think it's at this point of extremes of how extreme the situation is. I don't think it will be able to spoil the fun here. But again, I could be wrong on that, of course. Let me take a look at the live chat again. Okay, everything is fine here. Nobody's trying to disturb our peace. Okay, let's take a look at my X timeline. Received the notification. Just the live stream. Is Jerome Powell resigning tomorrow? Yeah, there is some rumors. There is some rumors. I'm not sure to what extent. I know he's going to give, some economy remarks. The situation about the remarks regarding the situation about economic situation in the United States. That's one side of the story. Another one is that he's going to resign. Is he going to resign? I will be blown away. I will be very, very surprised if he's going to resign tomorrow. I don't really think that is going to happen, but maybe he's going to, announce that, they're cutting interest rates. If that's the case, that probably is going to send all the crypto industry completely parabolic. And why? Again, because of the crypto market, overall context, overall situation, all of the setup. There's any other way it can. I don't think it has a comfort of a choice right now. Breaking Sharplink, gaming billion in ETH for treasury funded by planned share sale. Okay, all right, yeah, there is. Again, there is a rumors here and there that ETH buying becomes, for treasury, for respective treasuries becomes a thing. if that's true, that of course confirms it. That is not Bitcoin anymore. Ethereum starts to be the same class of asset that is accumulated in corporations' treasuries. I've seen a post, I don't remember from who, on X, that Vitalik Buterin said until 2026 or sometime in 2026, Ethereum is going to scale up times 10. That's still slow. I have to say that's still slow because Solana is definitely far faster than currently Ethereum, even if you multiply it by times 10. So that does not really change much. But Ethereum has, of course, layers 2. Solana does not have layers 2, but it's because it doesn't need to. Layers 2 sometimes are very complicated and they are not really trustless. So that is not really, they are not really game changers. So yeah, I don't think what philosophy is behind, you know, buying Ethereum for respective treasuries. I think is mostly because of the name of Ethereum. It still has a very big name. I don't think anybody does enough of research on it. It's believed to have one of the smartest people in its community, but many of them moved on to other things, and many of them are very lazy, and they're not really improving anything about Ethereum. So I think yeah, that contributes to the state of the state of the situation right now. That there is still some false beliefs that are very well alive around Ethereum. Unless I don't know about something that could also be the case. Naive. Crypto guys only want one thing. It's it's gain. It's gains, I think he wanted to he wanted to say. Okay, so yeah, fishing, very happy with girlfriend. Super serious, super serious. Super serious about fishing. Fishing is absolutely, yeah. Here he shows that he has teeth at all. Me, I hate fishing, to be honest. Crypto Goose, BlackRock now owns 1 billion, 1 million, sorry, 1,379,793 ETH worth $3 billion. Yeah, they keep stacking, eh? They keep accumulating Ethereum. The BlackRock when everyone is selling. This one is quite funny. Cointelegraph. New. El Salvador added 8 Bitcoin this week, now holds 6,194.18 Bitcoin. Yeah, they keep regularly. Okay, what else? Elon Musk just announced encrypted XChat Bitcoin style BTC payments also coming to X. I will see. I think he just meant the encryption type and nothing else. But they will come to X. I think it's unavoidable. Justin Vitalik Buterin says Ethereum layer 1 should scale 10x here and a bit. Yeah, that's literally what I said already. But 10x does not do the trick. Solana is still much faster than that. That's not a bad thing. I mean, let Ethereum scale up. Let it be a competition again. I have definitely nothing against it. I have definitely Ethereum becoming number one in smart contract space again. Right now, I think it has lost that. By capitalization, of course, it's still the biggest, but by adoption, by by how many projects choose Ethereum rather, I mean, Solana rather than Ethereum. I think here it actually lost the podium. Yeah, this is a cool watch, I must say. Mechanical is traveling around around the clock. Looks cool. Mechanical watches, to be honest. I mean, I don't really think they make much sense in current day and age, even as investment. I don't really think they make sense because if chat is the fun, I don't think a luxury watch is going to save you, to be honest. FartCon waiting, yeah. How big of a correction it had? From 164 to around 1. Not that much, eh? It's actually holding on quite well. Ukraine offered Russia a total ceasefire. Russia responded by refusing the ceasefire offer and bombing Ukrainian civilians. So Ukraine is out for the Russian strategic bombers. This is completely and totally justified and fair. Yeah, I must agree with Drew Pavlov in that case. Um, and are we going to see a drop in the stock market tomorrow because of that? Maybe a little bit, but I don't think tomorrow's trading session is going to close red, to be honest. Like I said, but even if we do, even if the stock market is going to close red tomorrow, I think it still does not change as the situation when it comes to the crypto. I think crypto is literally to rally sometime soon, like within days, literally within days. Not even with even even in the light of things like this, happening around the world. And so very dangerous. Markets really care about global events when they're at their extremes. And right now, the crypto market is definitely at its extreme. Actually, want it to be, especially as spot traders. So yeah. Okay, guys, allow me to wrap it up right here. And yeah, quite a lot of interesting things are going on, of course, in the space. I think this week is going to be very interesting. Finally, I mean, last one failed us, to be perfectly honest. My prediction did not did not really make it, and of course, I cannot be wrong forever. If I keep saying this week is going to be a good one, and then the next one is going to be a good one, sooner or later I'm going to get it right. That's how other influencers, you know, gaining fame in this space. Of course, here I'm saying it half serious, half jokingly. But yeah, that's honestly what I think. I honestly think that this week is going to be. So share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. And of course, consider throwing something at Beamcoin because this way we can actually say to some extent to invest, of course, in my in my social media, in this YouTube channel, in my Rumble channel, in my Twitch channel, and in my X profile. And from that perspective, I think it sounds a little bit more interesting rather than investing in whichever altcoin that you don't even know the creator, you don't even know what he plans, you know, with the token. This one is literally attached to me since it has actually my face on it. So, yeah. give it a try. Give it a try. I don't really believe you're going to be disappointed because, like I said, I have a lot of room for growth here, and I think it's going to be quite easy when you know the high level of interest around crypto kicks in. So yeah, thank you for your time, guys, and I see you hopefully sometime soon. Cheers.